Before the world sees your wins, your soul has to feel your work. It's the reps nobody applauds that produce the wins that do, all through a shifting of your identity into a dominator. This is all done in the dark every single day. So let me be your guide as I welcome you to this episode of the Dark Work Daily. I used to have a lot of people in my life that didn't operate the level I wanted to. When I was, in sports teams, you have to deal with it. When you get done in business, the same thing. And what's funny is that I would always struggle with stuff. I struggle with getting progress. I'd have a lot of people around me that I would let play at low levels, that I would push, and they wouldn't push back, and they wouldn't, lean on me, or they wouldn't actually catch what I was trying to, put out there and catch up to me. And so what ended up happening is I had one of two options. Option one is you push them away. Option two is you let them stay around you. Now, by pushing away, I mean, I say, hey, if you can't function this level, you got to get out of here, or you got to level up, or I let it happen. And what I would say is I learned to tolerate them. And I found that was a horrible thing for me to do. Because when you tolerate somebody, when you let things happen the way they happen, you actually essentially are becoming a person that sets standards at whatever the toleration level is. You become the standards that you accept. And those acceptances, they become the ceiling that you live under. When you let somebody do something below your level of toleration for yourself, right? Below the level of operation, efficiency, integrity, honesty, whatever it might be, what you tolerate, what you put up with, what you set in your life and go, it's okay. That is the level you get. Submitters, they tolerate mediocrity in their environment, in their relationships, in their self-talk internally, because addressing it does feel uncomfortable. It is not fun to have a hard conversation. No one enjoys being in a position to tell somebody, hey, you're not doing things in the way I need you to do. So what we do is we avoid confrontation and we allow this thing to persist. So the pain just keeps enduring and enduring. We let it happen and then get mad and complain. Well, why isn't so-and-so doing something? Well, why didn't you say something to so-and-so? You tolerated it for that moment, and now they're going to keep doing it, and now it affects your life the way it does. There's no one's fault but your own. If you're frustrated with what they're doing, say something. If you don't say anything, no one gets to go ahead and place blame on them anymore completely. You knew what they were doing. You were aware of it being around your life. You didn't say anything, so it kept happening. Obviously, you're mad now. See, dominators, they raise the bar and let the discomfort pass. They realize that they are setting a bar for themselves and they are a gift to the world, so they must set the bar for those around them to be able to be in their life still. You have to audit what you've been putting up with at times, because the cost of letting it continue is a very high price. Imagine if in my life I had men that I would let be around me and diminish their wives, be disrespectful to their faith. To make excuses, to drink all day, to party, to binge, eat things, like just to be out of shape. If I tolerated that in my vicinity, I would then have little bits of it rub off on me. Or I would be seen by people that I respect in a disrespectful or unrespected light, because they go, man, if he lets that be in his life, he might be kind of like that too. No matter what I'm doing, they know that company is similar. I don't let that happen because I love my wife. I love my God. I love what I do. I love how I show up. I'm not going to let somebody into my life that can deter it, detract it, distract me. And if you tolerate it and you have a complaint about it, you must be complaining to yourself. Go look in the mirror, because no one else has the power to remove you from that situation, the relationship, the environment, but you. You have the power. And if you don't like it, if you aren't a fan of it, change it. Be the person that has a hard conversation. Because I have found in my life, a lot of people have come to me with complaints, and I give them feedback. Here's what you have to do. You know what they do? They avoid the hard conversation. They beat around the bush. They don't dive in. Then they come back around a couple weeks, months later. Hey, I'm still dealing with this. Did you say what you're supposed to say? Well, I didn't feel like saying something. Then that's your own fault. I don't have anything to give you. I don't even know what you expect me to do and say in this situation, because truthfully, that thing you knew needed to be changed, yet you didn't change anything. You didn't adjust anything. Nothing's new. So whose fault do you think it is that person keeps saying that or keeps doing that? That's yours. They're going to be who they're going to be. Unless you can change them, which no one can do that, change you. Change their connection to you. Change their relation to you. But continuing to complain about something you're not giving effort to changing is stupid. And I don't feel bad for you. So I want to have this thought be planted in you, because to be honest, I had to learn this one the hard way. By dealing with people in my life that weren't savory humans. I had a gym business early on, And when I first began this business, I had one of my best friends in the world who would not come to this gym. Now, when I started the business, I had a certain group of people around me that weren't of high character. Now, I didn't know about their character when I first got working with them, but I came to find out. And at a certain point in time, I had this conversation with my friend who was like, hey, I can't come around because that person is there. I don't function with those people. My friend was very clear at setting his boundary of what he wouldn't tolerate. And I had to step back and go, man, I'm letting this in my life. It's having these people be removed. Am I going to tolerate this? Will I let this be in here? And I said, no. And it was an interesting conversation. I had to have somebody be removed completely from this whole business we had going on. And in doing so, like, tried to sue me, went back and forth, had to get the police down there, talking about, threatening me, all this craziness. But it's nuts because I go, man, I'm glad that my friend set the tone, set the foundation of what was accepted and not, because it let me do the exact same thing. And as I went through that journey and navigated, I'm like, man, I'm glad I didn't tolerate that. It was very hard to set that boundary. But I realized now that if I had never set that boundary, I would have slid into this oblivion of doing weird stuff the way this person did. And I'm thankful I changed everything and adjusted the entire way I function, because that was a game changer for my life and my humanity. I no longer tolerated it, which means I was able to access higher levels in life. Because what you tolerate, again, becomes a ceiling that you live under. You want to raise the ceiling? Stop tolerating things that are low level. If this episode stirred something in you, good. That means there's work to be done. Don't ignore it, because listening is just the beginning. Because real change happens when you engage and you commit. So I invite you to join the Dark Work community inside the Dark Work app, which is where you communicate with amazing people on the same journey as you. You can find them on the App Store and the Google Play Store right now. Step into the conversations that sharpen your habits, strengthen your identity, and keep you locked in to the Dark Work.